Tell me an app where you can find Facebook, WhatsApp, Netflix, Spotify, and PayPal in one place. Well, you probably know the answer, which is WeChat, the number one app in China with over 1.3 billion users. Now, what you don't know is what comes next. Tencent keeps evolving, creating new features which can generate multiple income streams. This means the value of Tencent will improve over time. And the most important question is, how much? What is the fair value of Tencent? If you look at the stock price, you can see that it had a huge drop last year due to China's regulations. I did an analysis back then, explaining why Tencent is so cheap, and the stock price has almost doubled so far. Now, you'll find out in this new analysis whether Tencent is still a buy at the current price, and what the fair value of Tencent is. If you want to know the answers, you have to look at their segments. How does Tencent make money? As you can see in this chart, Tencent has 4 main segments they make money from. First is social networks, where Tencent makes money from different paid subscriptions, such as Tencent Music, Tencent Video, and other services. The next major segment is gaming. If you are a gamer, you might have played League of Legends, Honor of Kings, or mini-clip games. Tencent is the largest game producer in the world and makes money from selling virtual items in games, plus other services. The next segment is online advertising. As Tencent has over 1.3 billion users on WeChat, it has access to a large number of people, and Tencent can show ads to them. Most of their users are from China. Besides WeChat, Tencent has another app called QQ, which has over 500 million users. QQ is also a social media app. It was their first app, and then Tencent created WeChat. So Tencent controls the social media industry in China. And the last main segment is fintech and business services, where Tencent makes money from a payment app called WeChat Pay and Tencent Cloud. WeChat Pay has over 1 billion users and makes money by charging a transaction fee. Plus, it offers various financial products, such as wealth management, insurance, and others. And last but not least, Tencent Cloud, where they make money from subscriptions or clients pay only for the resources they use. So these are the main segments of Tencent, the way they make money. It looks quite simple when you see this chart, but if you want to have a better overview of their apps, you can look at their ecosystem. It's a nice picture, you can easily see all their apps and what services they offer, from watching videos, playing games, to work and collaboration. You can also see in the upper right corner that Tencent has about 244 million total subscriptions, users who pay for premium services. Now, as we have an overview of their business, the next question is, how much will Tencent grow? So let's take it segment by segment. First, games. As you can see, Tencent owns many studios where they produce games. Plus, Tencent has invested in other well-known gaming companies and has partnerships with other businesses. You can see in the left side their most important game titles, such as League of Legends, Honor of Kings, which is the number one game in China, and other games. Now, if you look at the gaming industry in China, you can see that it is expected an annual growth rate of about 8% by 2027. Another important industry is advertising. As Tencent has over 1.3 billion users on WeChat, Tencent is a leader in this industry. As you can see in this image, the digital advertising market is expected to have an annual growth rate of about 9% by 2025. Tencent also owns the QQ app, another social media app, which has over 500 million users. So Tencent is also a leader in the social media industry. The next segment is fintech, where the payment market in China is expected to have an annual growth rate of about 8% by 2028. This is only for payments. As Tencent wants to develop new financial products, their fintech segment may have a higher growth rate. And the last important industry is cloud computing, which is expected to have an annual growth rate of about 20% by 2027 in China. So Tencent has good tailwinds from this industry, but they also face intense competition. If you look at the market share in China, you can see that Alibaba Cloud is the leader, and Tencent has about 15% market share. Now, if Tencent develops new technologies, they come up with new ideas, then they can easily gain more market share and grow their revenue. They have room to grow. The problem is if they can compete successfully with the other companies. So Tencent has many opportunities to grow its business. As you've seen, they operate in 4 main industries, which are expected to grow more in the future. Now, the next important question is, what are the risks? You probably know the answer, which is China's regulations. If you want to invest in any Chinese company, you have to know that everything depends on the Chinese Communist Party. They set the rules and can disrupt any business or industry, as they did with private education and real estate industry in China. Don't think they are evil, they only want to protect their people. Sometimes they exaggerate too much. For instance, minors are allowed only 1 hour to play games, but only on Fridays, Saturdays, Sundays, and holidays. It's good to have a limit, but not that much. Now, the gaming segment has been hit by that new rule. Tencent had a decline of about 4%. It's not a huge decline, and they'll rebound as the gaming industry is expected to grow. The problem is, you may see new regulations for social media. Their ad revenue may be affected, and also their payment system. Management said the regulatory environment has stabilized, and they expect growth ahead. But we have to be aware of this risk. Anytime you can have surprises. Another risk is competition. Their main competitor is Alibaba. They compete in cloud industry, payment industry. Tencent also started to offer e-commerce services, and they also compete in the digital media, Tencent Video with Youku, plus other services. Now, don't imagine that there will be only one winner that will take all the profits. There will be more players, as China wants fair competition, so they can grow together. Now, let's see the fair value of Tencent. First, let's look at the risk. If Tencent has a slower growth rate of about 5% for the next 10 years, and if you want a 10% return a year, then the fair value is about 117 billion. Plus, you add their investment portfolio, which is about 142 billion. So the final fair value will be about 250 billion. Tencent doesn't disclose all their investment positions. They only announce some of their investments, such as NIO, JD, Tesla, Snapchat, and others. They invest in gaming companies, video platforms, e-commerce, and other internet businesses. And Tencent has had a return of about 20% a year over the last 10 years. Now let's look at the reward. If Tencent grows at 15% a year, the fair value would be about 444 billion. Note that I use their free cash flow. Plus, you add their investment portfolio. The final fair value would be about 576 billion for a 10% return, and the market cap is about 470 billion. So based on this scenario, Tencent is undervalued. Now, the normal case, where Tencent is expected to grow by 10% for the next 10 years, the fair value will be about 248 billion. Plus you add their investment portfolio, the final fair value will be about 370 billion. Moreover, you get a small dividend of about 0.6%. This scenario is more conservative. Tencent might grow even more than 10%. But if you want to have a margin of safety, you can use a lower growth rate. I don't own Tencent, but if you want to find out what I own, you can check out my portfolio playlist. And tell me in the comments, where do you see Tencent in the next 10 years? And if you find value in this video, please give a like and subscribe to see more videos like this because I want you to succeed.